Hi, y'all. Welcome to Faith Filled Growing. I wanted to just um, come on and thank you first for watching my video and kind of let you know what I've been doing the last couple days over the last week since my last upload. This weekend, we had a garden tour around our house, our community, the Master Gardeners organization, along with our sorry, along with our Waikoloa Lions Club organization, did a fundraiser, and they had asked several people in our community to if they would be willing to open up their gardens. And I thought, what a better, perfect opportunity for me to grow my community around me, and meet new people and maybe share what I have done and hopefully inspire somebody else. In Ecclesiastes 4, 9, and 10, it says two are better than one because they have good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other. So I was kind of thinking, I was sharing my garden this weekend and was able to, you know, hopefully inspire. I know several people did say that they wanted to try some of the things, and specifically one of the things that you'll see in this video, me setting up. Because of that, though, I wanted to let you know I'm not 100% done. You're just going to see the first part of it. It's not all finished, but I didn't want to delay. I wanted to at least get this out, and then we'll finish up maybe next week with the finalizing everything. But before I get into letting y'all see me getting the new garden bed set up, what you're going to be looking at, it is a waterless um, raised bed gardening system. And what I used is, you can see these tubs back here. These are galvanized tubs. You can get them at Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, your hardware store, maybe your farm and ranch store, something like that. But I go through the whole process and what I've done, and it's going to basically be a waterless or self-wicking garden bed. For where I live in Hawaii on the Big Island. And where I used to have these were just moved to my back lanai, or back porch, back deck. They were just moved back here. So in this video, you see me setting them up back here. However, I have already been using them for a couple years. They were in my front yard on the side of my driveway. So some of the tubes that you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. They're already pre-cut, and I was just reorganizing them. When you set this up for yourself, initially, you may have to cut some tubing to make them the right size. They usually come in either 8-foot lengths, or at my Home Depot, they came in either 8-foot lengths or in a big roll of 50-foot lengths. The first time I put the first one up, I bought them in 8-foot lengths. And then when I realized I was going to have more than one, because I started with just one bed, and it quickly went to 2, and then it went to 4, and then 5. And so anyway, I quickly learned that it was better for me to buy the 50-foot roll than the 8-foot length. So you just decide what you want. Depends on how many beds you're going to have. But the tubing, I do want to point out, because I don't talk about it whenever I'm putting it together. The tubing, it's irrigation tubes. Some of the irrigation tubes have holes in it, and some don't. The ones that I'm using have holes, and the reason is because I want that water to basically be free flowing. Basically, what I've done is, in the bottom of the container, I've built a water reservoir to hold water. And I have 2 layers of tubing, because at my Home Depot, I can only get 4-inch irrigation tubes. You might be able to get larger tubes where you live. And if so, then you may not need 2 layers. You just have to decide that for yourself. And it also depends on how big of a reservoir you want, how often or less often do you want to have to refill it. Also, you'll notice that I am filling these with dirt that I bought in bags. It, for me, was easier since I was coming to my back deck. It was easier for me to get the dirt back here by carrying bags than it would have been if I was filling a, you know, like if I had a dump truck, like if I had ordered dirt by the yard or something like that. It would have been cheaper if I would have ordered it that way, but it would have been a lot more labor intensive for me to have to wheelbarrow from my front yard to the backyard, up some steps to my deck. That would have been a lot of work. So it was just easier for me to spend a little bit more for me to get bags and carry the bags back here and do it that way. But depending on where you're putting your beds, you may want to, if you're getting more than one bed, you may want to order it by a yard. But then again, it depends on how much space you have, because like I said, this is an HOA. I do live in a urban community, so I don't know how much space you're going to have. I do have, you know, some space. You'll see eventually as time goes on, but it is just one like plot of land. My neighbor's right there, and then I have a neighbor right there. You saw in the last video how close my neighbor was. But anyway, let's see, what was the other thing? Okay, so these were originally out front, and now after a couple years we've built some new beds out front and we've moved these in the back. So I guess that's all for now. I'll let you watch the video, and basically what you're going to see is me setting up the first couple of beds, this one and this one here. Well, I got the bottom part put in all of them. You do see that. And then you see me putting the dirt in these two. I have since not filmed, but I have put the dirt in this one also. And then I've got over here, which you'll see these in the videos, I've got the dirt in one of them. And then I need to actually buy 2 more bags of dirt that I was short for my last one. But anyway, I won't ramble on anymore. I just wanted to say again, thank you for watching. And if you are interested in trying to do homesteading, but thought that you weren't able to because you live in an HOA or you live in an apartment or a small community urban area and don't have land, the whole purpose of my channel is basically to show you that there are things that you can do no matter where you live that are like homesteading. And it's just basically getting that homestead mindset so that you can do homesteading things wherever you are. So I hope you enjoy the video, and thank you again for watching. If it's something that you are interested in, if you'd like and subscribe and maybe even share it with somebody else that you know, I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, so what I have to do here is I need to get all of these laid out in here correctly. Let me move some of this stuff. Get these all laid flat in here. These are 4-inch irrigation tubing. If you can get the larger one, then you don't have to do 2 layer, but I couldn't get the larger one where I live, so I did 2 layers, you can see. And I just need to, I think, cut this one to have a little piece, or else I can maybe find one little piece to go here. And then I need to put this in here as well. This is what I will use to fill it up with. Okay, so I put a little piece there. I put one more here on the end. And I think this piece, this little section will be fine without one. It's just basically to hold up the weed barrier. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, this is a little different than how we had them set up before. We had these sitting on the ground on the front side of our house by the driveway, so it wasn't a problem if these just drained directly onto the ground. But since we've now got these placed onto a deck, I don't want to have the water just pouring off onto our wooden deck. So he's going to get some tubing, silicone in some tubing, and have it go off of the side of the deck. So anytime, like if we fill any overfill, instead of draining directly onto here, it would just drain right off. But while he's working on that, I'm going to go set up another one of these. Let me show you real quick. We've got several here, and then we have some over here also. And so eventually I'll get all of these set up. And so I'm just going to keep working away, trying to get the tubing part, the irrigation tubing, set up inside of each one of these for now. them. I have all of them with the irrigation tubing in it. The next thing I need to do is to put weed barrier in. I did give you a close-up look to see what these look like. Each one is just laid in there different, but the idea is that this is going to hold your water in here, and this valve, basically that's a hole. My husband just put in the tubing there, and then we'll attach some more tubing that'll go off the side of the deck. But anyway, this hole is 1 inch below the top of this, so you can see the hole is down here. It's like that much further down. That way you have an air pocket between your water level and where your dirt is going to be. But anyhow, here's just a look at what these look like. And then we'll go over here. There's this one. And this one. And then finally this one. And I didn't ever explain anything. It's just some old fencing that my husband had that we attached to the back to be like a trellis that we can put things to grow up, vining things. Okay, so I'm gonna go get the weed barrier, and I'll be back and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so this is what I have in the bottom so far. I'm going to put a little bit of dirt in here to kind of hold it in place. And then this that I have wrapped over the inside, I'm actually going to untape it and tuck it in to the inside. But I need to first get some dirt in here to hold stuff in place, and then I can untape things and get things tucked around. y'all. Welcome to Faith.